What's going on, everyone? It's JDC here. Tim talking about if Fred VanVleet is overrated and why I think he's one of the more important pieces to the Raptors roster right now. So, if you guys like the video, drop a like down below, press the sub button. It'd be really appreciated, and let's get into the video. So, Fred VanVleet, as of right now, he is the starting point guard for the Toronto Raptors. Last season, he was the starting shooting guard, playing alongside Kyle Lowry. So, that last season he did average 20 points per game, 4 rebounds and 6 assists. He did have that 153-point game, which was absolutely crazy. So in terms of offensive ability, Fred VanVleet definitely has a lot of offensive ability, and it's apparent. I mean, he did shoot 37% from 3, and then obviously he did shoot 39% from the field, which is not that great, but he is just 6'1", 197 pounds, so very undersized for the point guard position, kind of like a Sharif Cooper in terms of height. I'm not saying that they're going to be the same player, but yeah, he's going to be very undersized for the point guard position because Kyle Lowry was playing it last season, but obviously he got traded to the Heat. So I definitely see the offense running through Fred VanVleet a little bit more now, because without Kyle Lowry there, without their floor general, Fred VanVleet is going to have to start stepping up for them, man. Honestly, I think it's going to be very great for them. So, yeah, just looking at his overall stats and his, 2021 regular season, stats, he had a lot of really good games, a lot of 20-point games, but, he had the occasional without a single-digit game, where he was, 1-7 from 3 one time against the Magic. There was a lot of games where, he was really good, but kind of was inconsistent in some games. But yeah, honestly, Fred VanVleet, I definitely think he's one of the more important pieces on the roster alongside Pascal Siakam. I think those two are definitely going to be the two leaders on this team because they are both 27 years old. So keeping that in mind, I definitely think they're going to be the veterans on this team, kind of like John Wall, Eric Gordon on the Houston Rockets, hopefully. And Pascal Siakam and Fred VanVleet, they can definitely lead this team to at least a play-in tournament or at least the playoffs this season. Actually, next season, depending on how each player on the team plays, because the Raptors, they definitely do have a good bench. And from what I'm looking at, they got people like Isaac Bonga, who is a pretty okay transaction. Nothing too great, but also nothing too bad. They also got people like Precious Achiuwa, who could be a very great pick-and-roll duo for Fred VanVleet. OG Anunoby, we all know we can do. Good defensive player, Khem Birch. Another maybe good pick-and-roll player, Scotty Barnes. So, honestly, Fred VanVleet, he's also a very underrated perimeter defender. Someone that can defend the perimeter at a decent level. Nothing at a high level, but someone that can defend at a pretty decent level, which is going to be pretty good because the Toronto Raptors, they also have a very great defensive team already. So, and honestly, I'm predicting that they're going to be a top 5 defense in the team next season with, honestly, Khem Birch, with OG Anunoby, Precious Achiuwa, Scotty Barnes, Pascal Siakam. They got all these good defenders. They're going to be a very great team in the future. I just don't know about next season unless, Scotty Barnes, OG Anunoby, Precious Achiuwa, those type of players take a next step. I think Fred VanVleet could honestly be maybe a 23-9 player next season, depending on how each player plays. If Precious Achiuwa plays well, then Fred VanVleet can honestly get 23-10, 10 assists, maybe, depending on, obviously how they play. So, yeah, Fred VanVleet, I definitely see him more as a shooting guard too instead of a point guard, because he did shoot 37% from 3. I like him more as a spot-up shooter. Now, you guys can disagree with that, and honestly, it's pretty fine to disagree because, most people see him mostly as a point guard too, but honestly, I see him more as a shooting guard, but he can play the point guard too. Like I said in the beginning of the video, he is 6'1", 197 pounds, so he is going to get a little bit bullied by other point guards like John Wall, Ben Simmons, those type of players, but he is pretty shifty with the ball. I remember watching that 2019 finals. He was very underrated at that time, and he had a lot of good moves in his bag. A lot of step backs, I remember this one play. He was at the top of the key with Quinn Cook, was gonna drive, and then he did a step back and then hit the 3. So that's what I like about Fred VanVleet's game too, is that his 3 ball is pretty underrated. Can't shoot the lights out of the ball. Sometimes it can be a little bit inconsistent, but for the most part, he is a very great 3-point shooter. Now, the only downside to his game is that his field goal percentage is absolutely crap. 39% from the field, which isn't all that great. I don't know. Fred VanVleet, he was an undrafted prospect too, which we got to think about. Very underrated prospect right there, and was a very important part for that 2019 Raptors for winning that championship. that's really the year where Fred VanVleet got his name on the radar. And quite honestly, was the year where, you know, people started respecting him. So Fred VanVleet, I kind of dragged this video a little bit too long, but I definitely feel like he's one of their more important pieces. I definitely think he is worse than Pascal Siakam. You guys, you know, let me know that he is worse than Siakam this last season, because I don't know, Siakam, I think he has more offensive firepower and a little bit more versatility on defense. So Fred VanVleet, definitely second best player on the team. And hopefully the Raptors can definitely get it done, at least get into the play-in, because I definitely want to see this team be very competitive, because they also got a lot of good young pieces. So hopefully they can at least try to become competitive. If they don't, it's fine. They do own their first round pick in 2022 NBA draft, so I wouldn't be too mad about them getting like maybe Chet Holmgren, or maybe, I don't know, maybe someone else in the draft. So it'd be pretty cool for Chet Holmgren to be on the Raptors, especially because they really need a point. They really need a center, because Kem Birch, he's pretty decent, but nothing too great. So yeah, hopefully the Raptors make the play-in, and hopefully they become competitive next season. So that's the end of the video. My name is JDC, and I'm signing out here. Peace.